Welcome to the week 7 of DSA 441 Cloud Computing. So, this is week 7 concept of object storage service. So, this video we are going to see the theoretical aspect, and in the next video we will be seeing about the demonstration of object storage service. So, this object storage service is actually used for storing the files multimedia or like a huge capacity of files or like a large sized files. This one is really a wonderful aspect, and we are going to see about the object storage service right now. So this object storage service is coming under the storage vertical of the cloud infrastructure. It gives a lot of storage space and it also gives a lot of security. So there are different types of storage. There are file storage, block storage, and object storage. A file storage is something like the hierarchical based files and folders arranged together, and the files will have like automatic indexing based on that hierarchy. And the block storage is like you are consequently stacking the blocks one over the other. And then we have the object storage. So we have the object stored inside the storage. So each file is taken as the object. So each file in the OSS is considered as an object, and we are going to see about how this is managed in Alibaba Cloud. Before going into the OSS concept, we need to know about the importance of OSS. So firstly, we see about the traditional storage server. We have the traditional setup of hard disk and all the hard equipment stored inside. So this has a specific volume of data storage, and if the data gets increased in its size, and then it needs more and more space for storing the data, and then there is a need for the data to rise rapidly. So in that case, what we have to do is we increase the number of storage space in the servers. In case if you are having your on-premise setup and you are having some stack servers, we keep stacking on the data capacity, like we keep adding the hard disk or the SSDs on top of the existing storage. But when the data increases rapidly, then it is very difficult to increase the physical infrastructure. So that's the reason why we go for the cloud. In this traditional storage server, we evaluate the storage capacity. Like firstly, we look into the data backup, and then we go into the consideration of data security, and then we do about the cost control. The encrypted and secure cloud storage service is the one which stores, processes, and accesses a massive amounts of data from anywhere in the world. When we compare the traditional storage of data, we have certain advantages for the OSS. So they can store a massive volume of data and they are easy to scale. As a result of this scaling, it has an enterprise security, and then as a result of that we have a higher availability, that is the data is available wherever and whenever we need, because there is a multiple copy and backup data are all available. And we have a more flexible way of payment, that is the pay as you go. So this reduces the cost needed for managing the OSS. Now we see about the advantages of object storage. So the advantages of object storage service spans in 5 verticals of scalability, simplicity, security, availability, and inclusiveness. When it comes to the scalability, it can have a massive volume of data of up to 5 petabytes for a single bucket, and you can have like a massive number of objects in one bucket. For example, you can have like multiple buckets, and in one bucket we can have a maximum storage of up to 50 petabytes, and even in one bucket itself we can have multiple objects which can occupy the space of up to 50 petabytes. And then in the simplicity aspect, we have the RESTful API which makes the system accessible from anywhere and from any time in the world. And it has a flexible object size which varies from 0 to 48.8 terabytes. In the previous parameter, we saw that there is a massive size of about 50 petabytes, but here it mentions like 0 to 48.8 terabytes. That is, 50 petabyte of data is for the whole data in one single bucket, but each object inside the bucket can have a maximum of up to 0 to 48.8 terabytes. So that is the flexibility it is offering, like each object can have up to a maximum of 48.8, so you can have as many number of objects which can occupy up to 50 petabytes. Also it has a flexible upload type, that is they upload normally, and also they can upload in multiple parts, and then it can append the data. And they are used for managed service and then used for monitoring the metrics, and we have a log access also. So this is about the simplicity factor of OSS. And then now we see about the security, how secure the data is in the OSS. It gives a multi-layer protection and anti-DDoS. Anti-DDoS stands for anti-distributed denial of service. It gives a multiple user isolation, and it provides a comprehensive logs to help to trace the malicious accesses. So this is how the security of the OSS is increased. And now we see about the availability. We can have up to 3 replicas of data, and the data availability can increase up to the level of 99.99999999%. And then the data reliability is increased as a result of this, because we can rely on the data because the storage of data is available in multiple places. So therefore the service availability from the data increases to the level of 99.99%, and there is an automatic service expansion and automatic failover with cross region replication, that is, it provides more fault tolerance. And then the last factor is the inclusiveness of all the technologies. It has a rich integration with other Alibaba cloud services, and also it is compatible with the big data products like eMapReduce, Max Compute, Analytic DB, and DLA. And this EBS snapshot, RDS snapshot, and Docker images which we use in the Kubernetes and the cloud native solutions are also supported in this case. And then we have the RAM and secure tokens service, and then cloud monitor tools are also integrated with this object storage service. So it includes all these factors and services together into one. That's why we call this OSS as having a inclusiveness of all the features. Now we see the concepts of objects in OSS. An object is a fundamental entity which is stored within an OSS bucket. An object can have like these 3 parts. They can have a key, data, and metadata. A key is actually the unique name of the object, and the data is the user data which we have, and the metadata is a key value pair that expresses the object's attributes. Actually metadata is like the information about the data in normal. So we have the key and the user data. Metadata will be like the data which presents about the attributes of each and every object. Then we have the data portion, which is opaque to the object storage service. The size of the object varies with the upload method. That is, for multi-part upload, it supports the objects up to 48.8 terabytes, whereas the upload methods of other support objects will go up to 5 gigabytes. So this is the difference we can see, that up to 48.8 terabyte from one particular object can be uploaded at a time. So these are all the basic of object storage service. Then we have the concepts of buckets. So these buckets will serve as a containers for the objects stored in the object storage service. Every object must be kept in a bucket. The bucket name is globally unique in OSS and cannot be changed. There is no limit on the number of objects in each bucket. An application can have one or more buckets. We can create multiple buckets and we can use all these buckets in the same application as well. And then we can organize the OSS namespace at the highest level, and this plays a role in an access control. And as a result of it, this serves as the unit of aggregation for usage reporting. So this is about the concepts of buckets. And then there are some keys, like each object is a key. A key is an object's unique identifier. Every object in a bucket has exactly one key. The combination of bucket and the key uniquely identifies each object. So we have like different parts of one particular object. If we take the URL of a particular object, here we have a JPEG image of algorithm.jpg. So this actually is a URL of that particular object. So this https:// this is the protocol, and then the bucket name is the name of the bucket where we store that particular object in, and the bucket name will be unique. So it's like giving an identity for the object which is stored. And then we have like this OSS-AP-southeast-1. So that is bucket endpoint, or we can call it as an access point. So this access point is normally found in Singapore along with this Ali UNCS, and then object name is that algorithm.jpg. So these are the different parts of each and every object in an object storage service. And in the object key, for each name of the object, it can store the value of up to a maximum of 1024 bytes, and even it can have the characters of UTF-8, and it is unique within the bucket, and also it includes the path prefixes. So here we see an example of this jtables.js. It also includes the path prefixes of assets /js /jquery /plugins all these are the prefixes added to the object key, so that makes the object more flexible. So normally we use this OSS for hosting a static website. Static website is where we design our pages with just some static content. That is, we write the HTML code inside and make it run like a website. It doesn't need to change dynamically. We can host the entire static website on OSS for a low cost, highly available hosting solution that can scale automatically to handle any amount of load. With the OSS, we can reliably serve our traffic and handle unexpected peaks without worrying about scaling your infrastructure or managing the servers. So this is about the OSS website hosting in the static website. And the Cloud Monitor is the tool which is used for monitoring the key metrics of the OSS. So this Cloud Monitor dashboard displays the overall statistics of all the buckets as well as the individual statistics of the buckets. This will show like various parameters like the incoming and the outgoing traffic. And then this object storage service is used for image processing. Alibaba Cloud OSS image processing is an image processing service that features a massive capacity, high security, low cost, and high reliability. By uploading and storing original images in OSS, we can process images anytime, anywhere on any internet device, even through a thin client, through a simple RESTful API. Firstly, we do the uploading of images, and after that the images are stored in the OSS. Inside the OSS, we process the image. While processing the image, we convert something like we are given with some privileges to convert the image format, and after that we can do scaling of that particular image, cropping and even rotating of images, and also we can add the text or image watermarks and apply the coloring effects. So the new image, after doing all the transformation, it will be ready for usage or it can be downloaded. So here we have the access method for the objects which are processed with the images. We have two types, they are parameter mode and the style mode. So this parameter mode is done after the query string part is done. Normally we have the bucket name followed by the endpoint followed by the object name. After the object name we have this question mark x hyphen OSS slash hyphen process equals, that is the query string, and after that whether we can go for the parameter mode or the style mode. In the style mode we just mention what style we need to follow. We will be seeing about the demonstration in the next video. You will understand much better. And in the parameter mode we mention like what we need to do with the image, whether we need to do the resize, what kind of width. W_200 means it is setting the image width as 200 pixels. So this is how the images are changed according to the style mode as well as the parameter mode. So that's how we can host the entire static website, and it is very affordable with a very low cost, and it is having a highly available hosting solution. And there are some settings for the static websites, whereas we can define the default home page and the 404 page, but that is a page which is not existing. So if the page is existing, then what page has to be opened, that we can set configure as the home page, and if the page is not available we can set for the default 404 page. And also this OSS will provide domain name binding, that is used for mapping your domain name with this object storage service spacing. So this space you can store the images and videos and all those, and you can configure a domain name where it has to locate at. So you can configure the domain transfer of all the information just like an Alibaba Cloud content delivery network. Now we are going to see about the various security features in OSS. HTTPS endpoint is provided in this OSS, that is we can secure the objects with the help of HTTPS protocol. Next we have the access and control, that is we have object and bucket level access control list, and also we have a bucket policy. We do with this access and control for the bucket policy, and also we can do it for individual objects as well. And the third one, we have the server side encryption. The server side encryptions range like key management service and object storage service. So these are the ways where we can obtain the keys for the server side encryption. And then we have identity authentication through RAM and STS. We configure the access policies and grant permissions to the users, and then we provide a temporary access authorization, and it also provides a cross account authentication as well. So these are all the security features available with the OSS. And then we have the bucket and object ACL. So we give the bucket name and then we set the region, and there we provide like this storage class, whether we have a standard storage. So if the file is frequently used, then we go for the standard storage, and then we have this IA, which stands for intermediate access, that is if it is lesser need for accessing the file, we go for the IA. This is quite cheaper than the standard one. And archive, if you rarely use that particular file, we go for this archive. And then we go for access control list or ACL. It is private, public or public read write. So these are the access control we provide for that whole bucket, or even you can set that access control for the objects we store in the OSS bucket. If it is private, we provide access based on the privileges we need to set for each and every person, and how long is the access provided for the user. All those things are seen in that one. Then we have the public read. This is suitable for the websites. That is, any anonymous user from anywhere in the world can access the content of the website, or like the files or objects inside the bucket, but they cannot do anything with the changing the content or altering the content. They will not be given with the write option. And the third option is the public read write. So this is like the most unsafe method of storing the objects. That is, any anonymous user can see the content of files in the object, and also they can do any changes. They can also upload the files into this object, so just like an anonymous user. And then we have bucket policy. We can authorize the buckets policy to set for the whole bucket or for a specific resource, and the accounts we can set for the sub accounts or for some other accounts. And we do the authorized operations for certain list of users, and then we can give some conditions like what protocols are supported and how the access method we select are supported. So these are the bucket policies available with OSS in Alibaba Cloud. Next, we see about the security features. In the security features, we can securely upload and download data via an SSL encrypted endpoints using HTTPS. We can also use a client-side encryption library which can be used to encrypt your data before uploading to the OSS. So here we can see this radio button where we can turn on to get HTTPS security based system. So it is more powerful when it has the HTTPS protocol on. And then we have this validity period where we set the time on how long the data has to be available for the user. So there are two types of encryption modes available for the objects uploaded to the OSS. They are SSE KMS, that is the key management system. The key material from KMS is used to encrypt the object. And then the next one we have SSE OSS, that is the default OSS key which is used to encrypt the objects. There is a multi-level key envelope encryption, and also it supports using the BYOK, that is bring your own key material for encryption and decryption. The keys are managed by the KMS, and a random key is generated for each object. So these are all what we see in the server side encryption of SSE KMS, and the one which supports with the BYOK, that is bring your own key material for encryption. Also we have like the security features for the secure token service. So the client app will log into the system, into the app server, which is the Alibaba Cloud's users with the access key. And then the login is success. It goes to send a request to assume the role to the secure token service or the STS. And the STS will look into the OSS, and then it will give the STS credentials to return back to app server, and the app server will have the client app which catches the STS credentials, and after it gets into the client app, it goes to the configure effective OSS API which requests by using the STS credential only. So then it goes back to the OSS. There are like time limited object access with the signed URLs, which provides time limited access to specific objects that expires after a set period. And also we have access permissions to use on objects in non-public buckets to prevent access once the signed URL has expired. So if we set like certain time period, like this much seconds for the user to access the bucket, and if the time for that particular time the user will be able to see the object or do anything with the object, and after the time lapse the access to that object will be denied. And then we are going to have a demonstration in the next video, so stay tuned to the and wait for the next video in this channel. If you are not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe this channel, so I will be encouraged to deliver more contents like this. Thank you. So that's all about object storage service in Alibaba Cloud.